if I ask you to participate, you get to raise your hand and you will get the chance to speak. Let's start with prepositional verbs. Now, yesterday we talked about the phrasal verbs, and we said that it consists of verbs plus particles, and we use them to produce new words. They can be separated, and you can put an object or a subject in the middle. Can you tell me, or do you still remember what's the meaning of prepositional verbs? It's basically the same definition of phrasal verbs. So if anyone remembers, please raise your hand. Let me see. Mu'taz, what are prepositional verbs?
Are two word, a word and a particle.
We don't call it particle.
A preposition.
There you go. So it's not a word, it's a verb plus preposition. Now, in the phrasal verbs, we call them particles, but in prepositions, we call them prepositions. I need someone to read the definition for me. Bedimiro, Amir, read the definition for me, please.
Prepositional verbs are a group of multi-word verbs made from a verb plus another word or words, prepositions.
Prepositions. Before we go through the lesson for more details, do you remember what was the main difference between the prepositional verbs and the phrasal verbs? Yeah, Jad, Hamza? What's the main difference between prepositional verbs and phrasal verbs?
Phrasal verbs come يعني ورا بعض.
Phrasal verbs?
لا, prepositional
verbs. They have to be together always.
Like believe in.
Believe in. Can we separate it?
Nope.
Nope. While phrasal verbs can be separated, right?
Yes.
That's the main difference. Right, let's go to the next slide. Detailed definition of prepositional verbs. Dima, can you read it for us?
Okay.
Thank you.
Prepositional verbs are defined as intransitive,
yeah,
verbs that consist of a verb followed by a prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase functions as a verb-phrase complement.
Yes.
A verb-phrase complement is defined as a word or phrase that directly follows and completes the meaning of the verb.
Wow, so complicated. Let's simplify it. Basically, what Dima read is this. That's it. Masa, can you read the equation for us? Prepositional verbs are made of what?
Prepositional verbs are made of verb plus a preposition.
That's it. So basically, everything in here is summed up with this. Preposition, verb plus preposition. Type. Let's take a look at some of the prepositions, at the examples of prepositions. Who would like to read them for us and give us the meaning? Rayan, can you read them for us and give us the meaning?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Some examples of prepositional phrases provided with their meaning as well as examples. Prepositional verbs meaning
and the examples.
And the meaning have faith in the existence of. Example, I believe in God.
Of course, we don't have God, we have Allah, so I believe in Allah, right? The second one, look after.
Look after. The meaning take care of. Example, he is looking after the dog.
Good.
The object.
Talk about.
Meaning discuss. Example, did you talk about the object me?
Yes. Wait for, what does it mean?
Wait, and John is waiting for me.
For
Mary.
Mary. For Mary. Type. Important note. Who can read it for us so we can discuss it? Someone. في حدا. Zaina Abu Harb, can you read this slide for us?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
Prepositional verbs cannot be separated. That means that we cannot put the direct object between the two parts. For example, we must say look after the baby. We cannot say look the baby after.
Yes, it doesn't make sense at all. So basically, prepositional verbs cannot be separated, must not be separated, and would never be separated, because the structure of the sentence would be wrong, and it won't give us the meaning that we're looking for. Now, there are certain words that we can use in phrasal verbs and we can use in prepositional verbs. They can work both ways. They can be particles, or they can be prepositions in prepositional phrases, or they can be just prepositions as we took them in parts of speech. So this slide, these words can function as both prepositions and adverb particles in the phrasal verbs. Who can read them for us? Yeah, Omar Zidan. Omar Zidan,
Yes, teacher.
read the slide for us.
Words like on, off, up, down can function both as prepositions and as adverbs.
Adverb particles. Type. Can you put the word, not Omar, someone else, can you put the word down in a phrasal verb? Can you put the word down in a phrasal verb and show me how you can separate it? Asil Mardini, can you put the word down in a phrasal verb?
Yes, he walked down the street.
He walked down the street. Okay, he walked down the street. Can you put it, can you separate it? Can you put it in a sentence where you can separate down from the verb?
مش كتير بيعلق.
Speak English. Okay,
No.
fine. Let's go to someone else. Can you use the word off? Juri, can you put the word off in a phrasal verb? Not prepositional verb.
I can.
Dima, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Off. Turn
Off.
off the music or turn the music off.
Lovely.
That's
Turn
how
off the
separate.
music or turn the music off. طيب, I need someone to put the word up in a prepositional verb. Yani it can't be separated from the verb. Someone to put the word up. Malak Abu Bakr, again, she's a new girl. Up, can you put, Malak Abu Bakr, can you put the word up in a prepositional verb? Malak Abu Bakr? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, can you put the word up in a prepositional verb? Let me give you time to think. طيب, Amir, can you put the word up in a prepositional verb? Miro,
I'm thinking.
you're thinking? طيب, you love your dad, Amir, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you put the word up in a phrase that is related to your dad? You look. I look. Put up, just put up. I look up to my dad. It means he's my example. He's my role model. I look up to my dad. It means I'm very proud of him and I'm looking up to him. We cannot separate this word. We can't say I look my dad up. You can't say I look my dad up. Type. Let's proceed to the questions. The first question, use the prepositions. Sorry?
Yeah. It's on the table.
Okay.
So how do sentences work?
Hello. Mute yourselves. All of you. Mute yourselves. Participants, mute all. Thank you.
Is it like
Shabab, let's go to the question and raise your hands just like usual. Use the prepositions in the word box to complete the sentences below. We have the words with, to, about, in, and on. The first one, I'm talking my brother about the new movie. Yeah. Mansoor, can you answer the first one?
Yes.
Mansoor, answer the first one.
I am talking to my brother about the new movie.
To my brother about the new movie. Great. They were thinking. زيد قريع. They were thinking.
They were thinking about.
Yes. Continue the sentence.
They were thinking about going to the mall this afternoon.
Good. The third one. Sarah always depends. Talal. طلال يا طلال فينك يا طلال. طيب, let's take Noor Hinno. Noor, can you do the third one? Sarah?
Yes.
Go.
Sarah always depends
on her family in any problem she faces.
On her family and any problem she faces. Number 4, Khalid agrees. Khalid agrees. Muhammad Abu Eid. Khalid agrees what?
In everything his father says.
مش in, something else other than in. Think, Abu Eid.
With everything he says.
With. Khalid agrees with everything his father says. He believes I need Ray al-Qaq. He believes
In.
in. Yes, he believes in Allah. Let's proceed here. Who can read this slide for us? I want Mira Hamid. Read it for us.
Notice in the previous question how the verb and the preposition cannot be separated. This is the main difference between phrasal verbs and prepositional verbs. Also, in phrasal verbs, we call the preposition particles, while in the prepositional verbs, they remain prepositions.
That's all you need to know. Let's proceed to, before we proceed, please, all of you, lower your hands. Lower your hands. I want to see the number go down. Lower your hands. 10 more hands raised. Lower all your hands. Lower your hands. Still 3 more to go. Lower your hands. Lower your hands. Jana, lower your hands. Jum'a, lower your hand. Hinno, Malak Abu Bakr, lower your hands. Okay, before we proceed to the next question, if you have any questions, raise your hand now. If you have any questions, raise your hand now. Maryam Khater. Yes, Maryam, do you have any questions so far?
Yes, in the slide before, the first one, can it be with, not to?
I'm talking with my brother. It's very grammatically weak. Yani it's not completely wrong, but it's about like, it's not all the way right. So if you have 2 options, if you have with or to, then to is definitely the more correct answer. Okay? Mashi. If you didn't have to, then you have to use with, but I don't think anyone would sit this question this way. Okay, someone else? Anybody who's raising his hand? Dima, do me yes, darling.
Is wake up a phrasal verb or a prepositional verb?
It's a phrasal verb. Wake him up or wake up. You can put him or you can put her, or you can say wake them up. You can put any subject between wake and up. So it's a phrasal verb.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Sankariyo. Let's go to the next question. Complete the passage below with the correct prepositional verb. This time we're not using only prepositions, we're using an entire prepositional verb. Agrees with, decide on, wait for, and gets off. Who can do the first blank? Only the first blank for us. Someone who did not participate. Shabab, someone who did not participate. Zain Yunus, do the first one. Yes, Zain. The mic is not working properly. Yes, Zain, try again. Zain, the connection is weak, Zain. طيب, Zain, I promise I'll get back to you, okay? Joanna, can you do the first one?
Yes.
Go.
Sam and Carla will wait for their father at...
Okay, stop. Okay. Wait for their father. Continue the sentence, only the sentence.
At the bus station.
At the bus station. Thank you very much. The second blank. Who can do the second blank? Someone. Jana Abder. I did not hear your voice. Jana.
Then they need to decide their plan for dinner with him.
Decide on their plans for dinner with him. Okay, I need someone to continue. Rayan, continue please. Rayano.
So once their father gets off the bus, they will
Thank you.
see.
That's it. Gets off the bus. The last blank is for last blank. Zaid Jum'a.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, they will see if
he agree with.
If he agrees with what they decided. Zaid Jum'a, stay with me. I want you to read the conclusion, please. Can you?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
In conclusion, both phrasal and prepositional verbs serve the same purpose.
Yeah.
The only difference in the structure of each type and the fact the prepositional verbs cannot be separated while phrasal verb can.
So basically, both phrasal verbs and prepositional verbs are exactly the same. They serve the same purpose. They serve the same, let's say, goal in our English language. But the main difference, or the only difference, is the structure of each type. Now, the structure is very important in English because it's unlike Arabic. Yes, there's someone who's raising his hand. Jenna and Rand. Yes, darling. Do you have a question or anything? Jenna? Rand? Jenna, Rand, Jenna?
Nope. No, teacher, we didn't have any questions.
Okay. طيب. Let's do the last question. Decide whether the following verbs are phrasal verbs or prepositional verbs, and you have to tell me why. And not only that, if it was a phrasal verb, separate it for me and put the subject in the middle. طيب. So you do have to do 3 things. You have to decide which is phrasal or prepositional. You have to tell me why. And if it was phrasal, you have to separate it and put a subject in the middle to convince me that it's a phrasal verb. Let's do the first one. Layan Hamdan, please, number 1.
Please turn off the radio. It's a phrasal verb.
Why?
Because it's turn off. I think that phrasal verbs are always like take a his and turn off. It's off.
طيب, can you prove it to me that it's a phrasal verb? Can you separate turn off and put something in the middle?
Yes, turn the radio off.
Turn the radio off. Then your answer is 100% correct. طيب, I want this to be read. Ya Allah. Okay. The second one. Someone who did not answer, who did not say anything, who wasn't there. Mean. Mira Kababji, can you do the second one?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
I need to get off the bus now. It's prepositional.
How so?
Because we can't separate it.
You can't say, I need to get the bus off.
Yes.
Okay, so I accept the answer. The third one, yeah, رها في علاقات. Adam believes. رها في علاقات. رها في connection today is not doing, it's not. طيب رغد عربيات. رغد, can you do number 3? Where are you guys? I feel like I'm in a cave. Rimas, can you do number 3?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
Adam believes in his best friend Sam.
Phrasal or prepositional?
Prepositional.
Convince me.
Because I can't separate Sam believes in.
Oh, great. Adam believes his best friend Sam in. Can I say that?
No.
So it's definitely prepositional. طيب, number 4, yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the people who are raising their hands.
Teacher, do you say my name?
Who? Who's talking?
Ragad.
Ragad, yeah, Ragad. Can you do number 4?
Okay.
Yalla.
Mom was angry, so she shut down the computer.
Is it phrasal or prepositional?
Phrasal.
Phrasal. Can you put something between shut and down? Shut what down? Shut. Yes.
Off?
No. Now your answer is half correct. Let someone else finish the answer for you. Amir Bakr. Amir Bakr. Mom was angry, so she shut down the computer. Can you change the location of the computer?
Yes. So she shut the computer down.
Yes, therefore it's a phrasal verb because we can separate shut and down and we can put the subject in between. Number 5, she never defends herself. Judy, she never defends herself. That's not true. Judy always defends herself, but answer the question. Yalla Juj.
She never defends herself. She agrees with everything her teacher says.
Yep. She agrees with everything her teacher says. It's phrasal or prepositional?
Phrasal.
She agrees everything her teacher say with?
No, prepositional.
It's prepositional because it cannot be separated under any circumstance. طيب, let's go to the sixth one. Sixth one, people. Jad. Yalla Jadu. Hamza. Jad. Do number 6.
Yes.
Yalla ya Amri.
Decided to turn the TV on to watch the game.
It's already separated.
It's
It's already separated. Turn the TV on. They didn't say turn on the TV, so you can separate it, or it's phrasal. Yes, they already did it for you. But so that's it for today. So our lesson basically was about prepositional verbs, and we say that it's a verb plus preposition. It cannot be separated. It's the same as phrasal verbs, but the structure is different. Both of them, phrasal verbs, prepositional verbs, serve the same exact purpose. There isn't anything that is different. Anyone with a question? Anyone with a question? Lower your hands if you don't have any questions, but if you do, keep them raised. Lower your hand if you don't have any questions. Just keep them up if you have any questions. Mu'taz, ha Selkhi, what do you want?
I forgot to tell my to lower my hands.
Lower your hands, you guys, unless you have a question. Masa. Masa.
Yes, teacher.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
Yes, teacher. I don't know what, like, how to separate prepositional verbs and phrasal verb. Like, I didn't understand.
طيب. Ya Masa, look at the example here. Please turn off the radio. We said it's a phrasal verb. Why did we say that? Because you can take the radio, which is the subject right here. Wait. We can take the radio and we can put it between the verb turn and the preposition off. And it can be, please turn the radio off. That's why we call it phrasal verb. In phrasal verbs, we can separate the preposition or the particle and the verb, and we can put the subject in the middle. That's why it's a phrasal verb. You can keep it as is. You can say, please turn off the radio, or you can say, turn the radio off. They're both correct. In prepositional verbs, let's look at the second one. I need to get off the bus now. I can't take the word the bus here and put it between get off. It will become, I need to get the bus off now. So it's grammatically wrong.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we call it prepositional verbs. That's the only difference. Okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, someone else with a question. Sundus. Hi, Sundus. Do you have any questions, darling? Sundus?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, sweetie. Do you have any questions?
Yes, teacher. I wanted to ask you if we have a booklet for English in the school, we can take it.
Yes, there is. You can pass by or ask one of your parents to pass by and take the booklet from school. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Because
now we are going to the school and...
Yeah, you can go and pick it up, Sundus. Yes. Yes, Zaid.
But what should I tell them?
Tell them I need the booklet for grade 6.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Zaido.
Is decide to a prepositional verb?
Decide on. ما اسمها decide to. I decide to go to school.
Like that.
Okay. I decide to go to school. It's a prepositional verb because you can say I decide go to school too.
Yes.
Okay. But I decide on برضو prepositional verb. Mute yourselves if you have any side talks. Shabab, mute yourselves. Especially when you're fighting with someone. Hi, mute. السريع. Okay. So let me just stop the recording.